Hi, this is Sean Sanford and Ms. Tringo from Sanford's Martial Arts, and this is going to be a part of our video training series online for our students to watch while they train at home. In this first video, we're going to cover just some basic techniques, escape from holds that we've been practicing in class, and a fairly simple combo on pads. And this is for Lil Samurai and basic students, but all students, all ranks could watch this training video. So first we're going to cover some of the basics we would do in class. I'm going to have Ms. Tringo demonstrate the technique, and I'm going to point out some details as she goes up and down the mat. So our first basic technique is lower block. So she's going to step forward, lower block her left side. She's in a front stance. In her front stance, you want your front knee over your toes. Your back leg is not locked out. Her back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. And for the lower block, her palm is down. The backhand on her hip, the palm is up. All right, ready? As you cover, the top arm is going to be the one that's blocking. Knee. So that backhand on the hip is coming on top and then sweeping low. And then one more time. San. Good. And then going backwards, ichi. Same technique with the arms. One important thing I want to point out with footwork is that as you step in a front stance, you want that front foot to come in and then step out. It's kind of like a crescent shape. Knee. Again, watching that, your foot placement, the front foot is straight ahead. San. Okay, so that's the lower block. Now, upper block would come next. Ichi. The cover looks like an X. Knee. As far as the arm placement, your arms are palm in as you cover, and then once you do the technique, the block itself, the palm will turn outwards. So you're using the blade of your arm as the blocking surface. San. And then going backwards, ichi, knee, and san. And if you guys are doing this at home where you have, say it's like a child watching the video and family members maybe watching like mom or dad, you guys could also help remind them the hand on the hip, footwork, and it'd be fine to even count too. So if you're a student watching this, you can follow along with the video, but if you have your parents helping you train at home, you guys can watch for the hand placement and even count them. Ichi is 1, knee is 2, and san is 3. So next is inside outward middle block. We just consider it middle block. Ichi. The blocking arm starts on the bottom, that arm scoops out. Knee. You want to make sure that on the blocking arm, your palm is facing you. It's not turned outwards. San. And then going backwards, ichi. Knee. So that backhand that's going to block starts on the bottom of the cover and then scoops outwards. San. And as far as your arm placement, your hand is about as high as your shoulder, and your elbow is in front of your ribs. You can bend your elbow a little more. Just try to go, drop it a little lower. Good, good. That will provide coverage of your solar plexus, ribs, and up to your shoulder. Okay, now the last block we're going to cover is outside inward block. Ichi. This one's a little trickier because there is no cover, yet the arm comes up to the blocking side and across the body. Knee. So the hand on the hip comes up and swings across your center line. San. The blocking surface is again the blade of the arm, your forearm. Going backwards, ichi. So if you're a parent watching your child do the technique, one thing to watch for is make sure your arm comes across the body. Knee. Sometimes students block and they stop short, where I'd still be getting hit. You can see she went across her solar plexus. San. And the arm that's out kind of like a support, that just looks like a punching position. In self-defense, that arm that's out like a punch actually becomes a grab, and you're hyperextending somebody's arm. Okay, for the last basic in this section, we're going to do lunge punch. Ichi. So the lunge punch, you're making sure that you have the same side forward. On all these techniques, you want to have the same arm and leg forward. Knee, the backhand, as it comes off the hip, it's going straight ahead. You want to make sure you're not winding up or having the elbow flare out. San. And then once the punch is actually out in place, the last few inches is when you turn your hand. Going backwards, each. So as though it seems pretty simple as a technique, we really want to watch for, especially in white belts and yellow belts doing this, is that the hand's not crooked and that it did turn over fully and then also not winding up. Knee. The footwork is the same as the blocks. Sun. And a good frame of reference of where you're punching is center line to your body, about where your solar plexus is. You could practice doing punches to the head, to the stomach, but solar plexus is where we usually use as a guide. But you got Yaman, come on back. So that's the basic blocking and punching we're going to do in this video, but now we're going to cover X block into a guarded position, which we would use for kicks. So stepping forward, X block. Hush. She crosses his arms, the hands come out. Now she's in a guard. A guard is usually a shorter stance than a front stance. However, your front knee's still bent over the toes, the back knee's bent. You want to feel like your weight disbursement is 50-50, so you're not leaning to one leg or the other. Of course, she has her guard up. And we're going to go over snap kick. Each. So the back leg kicks, that leg steps forward. I know in like Lil Samurai and in basic classes, students have trouble remembering which leg to kick and to do that forward progression of stepping. So this would be a great thing to practice at home slowly, is just stepping in balance. Knee. Making sure that after you kick, she recoils that foot before she steps. Sun. Good. And then when you turn, you always turn towards the back leg, and that leg becomes the front. So do it slowly. Turn. You also are doing an X block. And then we start going the other direction, same technique, each. Knee. Something else to watch for is your back foot doesn't come up. A lot of times students, again, this is a good thing to work on for white belts, yellow belts, is not having that heel come off the ground. Sun. And then turn. Good. All right, Yaman. And for kicking, another thing to watch is that your chamber is the knee coming up. The toes are pointing down for snap kick because you're kicking with the top of your foot. And then after you do the kick, you recoil. And in basics, that leg stepping forward. So that concludes our basic techniques for this training video.